So my name is Jan-Gustav Strandenaes. I work with an international organization based in Brussels, which is called ANPED, but I'm also the facilitator for the global NGO community working on Rio+20. And that means that I have a responsibility to help NGO from all over the world work with the UN and understand the complicated process of interacting with the UN. And I think this is important also, but most important is perhaps getting involved in the Rio process, leading up to what is now called the Rio+20, or more correctly, Rio+2012, which is I would say, the summit that could set the platform for sustainable development in this century. There are 5 themes, 2 overarching themes. It's the green economy in the context of fighting poverty, and it's international sustainable development governance. Then there are 3 sub-themes. One is recommitting to sustainable development as a political issue. It's closing the implementation gap, all the things we haven't done in 1992 in Rio 1, or the Millennium Development Goals, or the World Summit on Sustainable Development in 2002. And the third is emerging issues. What are the new issues that will challenge our existence, basically, in the context of sustainable development and environment? So these are the 5 themes. They're highly relevant and they're extremely important for the development of this planet. And the UN has done something remarkable. In 1972, at the Stockholm Conference, where UNEP, the UN Environment Programme, was formed, NGOs came and they were accepted as bystanders, but they were consulted. They didn't really have a strong impact. 1992 conference, Agenda 21, coined the phrase the 9 major groups. And the 9 major groups are women, youth, indigenous peoples, farmers, NGOs, local authorities, science and technology, trade unions, and business and industry. This is all the new concept of civil society. In 2002, the summit called World Summit on Sustainable Development, these 9 major groups, civil society was given a coordinating role for their constituency. This time, the General Assembly has adopted a resolution which calls for the summit, has 29 paragraphs, and in 8 of those paragraphs calls for the active participation of the major groups or of civil society. So not do we only have a role, but we have an obligation to participate. It's a unique historical opportunity for people from all over the world, from civil society, to participate and help contribute to developing the understanding of these issues. It's an open process, and we have come to understand, talking to governments up until now, that they're asking civil society, organized civil society, passionate civil society, creative civil society, NGOs from all over the world, with covering all cultures and all ages, to come in and contribute. And this is not my generation's summit. This is not my generation's conference on sustainable development. This is the next generation, the generation that hopefully will create a summit that can have an outcome which promises that this century will be much, much better than the one we just left behind. That is the opportunity we have, an interactive global possibility where we can talk to and negotiate with governments. Don't miss that opportunity. It is unique. There are many, many ways to participate and contribute. First of all, it's important to look at the themes. You need to be thematically oriented. Lofty speeches, generalities are not going to be of interest. The 5 themes I mentioned are the framework thematically. So whatever we come up with ideas or critical analysis, it has to have relevance to those. Now, the UN has an open process inviting civil society from all over the world to participate on these themes, giving us the chance to come up with papers, giving us the chance to make studies, and then deliver that to the governments on a national level, or participate in the global way forward, which is called. There will be a massive conference early September for civil society on Rio in Bonn in Germany. It is called the DPI conference, Department of Public Information. And this is one opportunity to be seen and heard and get involved. The UN has organized 5 regional conferences. One and the last one is in Geneva in December 1st and 2nd. But there will be, the first one is in Latin America, then there will be one in West Asia, Asia and the Pacific, and in Africa between September and December. The outcome of these conferences will feed directly into the Rio. And again, we see that these regional meetings are open for all non-governmental organizations. And again, we see that the governments participating and the UN will ask for input, concrete, creative input within the framework. The next year, the UN has an open process where you have a number of conferences and a number of negotiating opportunities. Again open, again participatory, again transparent. It is basically up to us to talk about accountability. And the accountability is not only for the government, it's also for us. We need to be held accountable for what we are going to produce. And again, I will reiterate the need to produce something which is highly relevant to the agenda points. It is no global conference at this level has been so open. So I would say it's up to the creative powers of the non-governmental organizations everywhere to get involved. Look at the website, the Rio+20 website under UN. That's where the recipe for participation is. Or contact us. I'm working for the NGOs. There are organizing partners for each of these 9 major groups. All these names and contact addresses are again on the Rio+20 website. Don't miss this opportunity. The faith-based community is part of the NGO community in general. But we also see that inside indigenous peoples there are a lot of religious denominations. Inside the women there are religious denominations. What I would say is find your niche, find your organization. I work a lot with the faith-based community, and what they provide of value is the value-based discussion. And unless we have good values, we will not have a good outcome. So that's why I'm saying there is an opportunity for everybody, but you need to work, and it's hard work. You just can't come in and say, oh, interesting, and then leave it, and then come back after a year and say, why is nothing happening? Then it's your own fault. The opportunity is here for us to take.